Now here's something you don't get asked every day. What do you do if the man in your life suddenly has an onset of, God forbid, erectile dysfunction? Well, for some women, the answer would be, and I kid you not, celebrate. You heard that right. After interviewing many women who have been with men struck with ED, they almost invariably say that they are the best lovers they've ever had. Now, there's some sound reasons for this reaction, and once you see what they are, your ideas about what constitutes true, fulfilling intimacy may likely be changed forever. In our culture, one of the worst things that can happen to a man is that he have an episode of erectile dysfunction, or worse yet, full-blown clinical impotence. The male potency imperative is so strong in our culture that I've had men tell me they would rather die than lose their erectile function. Even a temporary bout of ED is enough to send most men into a self-confidence funk, followed up with a frenzied call to their doctor for a prescription of Viagra or Cialis. Now, some female partners are negatively affected as well. Even if the cause is purely physical, they can interpret their man's flaccid response as a sign that he no longer finds them attractive. I suspect that the more secure a woman feels about her own sexuality and attractiveness, the less this is an issue. While not at all a scientific study, I've observed that a woman's age can have a huge impact on how she wants and expresses intimacy. Generally speaking, it seems that women of childbearing years put a much higher premium on intercourse. However, once a woman approaches menopause, their desire for penetrative sex seems to wane. Now, that doesn't mean their desire for physical intimacy is any less. Just how they want to experience it can be quite different from their early rip our clothes off stage. Again, these are general observations, not based on any scientific study, and there will always be exceptions. So if you accept this possibility for the moment, you can see how a man with ED could be a blessing to his post-childbearing age female partner. If he can get over his quote-unquote loss and explore other ways of being intimate with her, they will both likely be very fulfilled. I interviewed one 40-year-old woman who said her previous boyfriend had a temporary bout of ED and ended up becoming the world's greatest lover for her. Then, his function eventually returned and he became, and I quote, a dick again, looking for other places to put it, which tends to explain why he's a previous boyfriend. Now, at the risk of sounding like a spokesperson for the entire male gender, I have an idea as to what is happening here. When we guys get a hard-on, there's this very deep, visceral, even primal urge to use it and use it now. This tends to make us and our lovemaking very penile-focused, which is great for making babies, but not always so for making love that is deeply connecting and fulfilling for both parties. When we lose our ability to get erect, we also lose some of the urgency that comes with it. And if the man so effective can successfully separate his sense of manhood from his erectile function, it opens him and his partner up to exploring other ways of being deliciously intimate. He is also likely to be more open to slowing down and being more present for his partner, perhaps in ways he never considered or thought possible when things were working properly. Should you learn that your man is no longer able to quote-unquote perform in the usual way, even if temporarily, it is your cue to help him through it. The first thing is to genuinely reassure him that you love him and find him just as attractive and sexy as ever. Then have an authentic, vulnerable conversation on what other ways you both can explore to express exciting, fulfilling intimacy with each other. Treat it as a great adventure that leads to untold pleasurable treasures. And, by all means, never allow the term performance to enter your bedroom. Instead, replace it with presence, the art of being fully present for each other when making love. Being present for each other during intimacy is about the most sensual thing two people can do in the bedroom. So should your guy ever have an issue with getting it up, try seeing that as an invitation to explore what truly is possible, intimately speaking. And you both may find that there is much to celebrate indeed.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Extraordinary Intimacy with Michael J. Russell. For all speaking, media interviews, and workshop inquiries, go to michaelrusselllive.com. For private intimacy coaching, send an email to coaching@michaelrusselllive.com.